Yay. So pretty there.
Oh yeah, we got the palm trees. Yes, very nice. Okay. Well, let me get my camera still. Okay, let's get right into it. Today I want to talk about women's icks because I know it's a popular topic, and I'm going to talk about some of mine because I have so many that I can go on and explain. But it's really important that aside from just saying what the icks are, like for people, especially men, to understand why it is, what is the root of why that's an ick. Okay. So first one that comes to mind. Well, I have so many, but let me just let me just start. When
Let's preface this by saying it's not complaining about men or saying this is all men.
yes, let's disclaim this is not all men. Okay, this is definitely not all men. It's probably not even the majority of men, but this is the point of this video is to alert men and maybe some behaviors that they don't even realize that they're doing that are turning off women. The whole point of this video is to help men. Okay. So one thing that I think of, and I'm trying to help men who are in the dating phase, courting phase. So a few things that I think of: when a man, like right away, he starts calling you affectionate terms. Like you just met him and he's on the baby, sweetie, honey, mama.
Yes.
Like when he starts and he just assumes a level of intimacy that you are just not comfortable with. This is something that many women complain about. And I know many women that will just block you if you go ahead right away, start talking to them with cutesy nicknames when you're not on that level yet. And the principle, the root of that is you shouldn't assume. That's almost like a violation. You're like entering a space with her that she has not invited you into yet. And again, I'm not talking about people who are in an established relationship. I'm talking about this is in the initial phases. Like you just gave a guy your number and he's already like, it's almost like a love bombing that's taking place.
Yeah.
You know?
We actually got that in the comments. Love bombing. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Love bombing. Exactly. Right. Exactly. And that can extend out to, and on the subject of the love bombing is right away being very aggressive with affection or gifts, like right away. It's like, whoa, slow down. We are not on that level. And it makes a woman it will make her recede because it feels like you're encroaching on space that she hasn't invited you into. So it feels like she's getting choked or violated, right? And I would
it
say
can feel very disingenuine.
Sure. Yes,
And the
exactly.
first thing every woman says, because I actually recently I had a friend who said that she connected with this guy on an app, dated him, and he was right off the gate. And the biggest red flag that comes up for women is we think we're not that, we want to feel special, but we're not that special if you're calling me this within 5 seconds and you don't even know me. And it makes us think, how many other women are you saying this to? And what are you trying to, what's the agenda? Are you generally trying to get to know me, or are you trying to get something back out of me just to make you feel good? You want me to call you Poppy, Daddy, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. It's 100%. If a man is showing you that kind of attention when he just met you, how does that make you special? He's probably, it gives off that he's doing this to a lot of women, and maybe just seeing which one is going to accept that sort of behavior and latch on. It's like, let me just shoot plenty of shots out there, do the most, and see who I get back out of this. But you'll get blocked from me if you do that, because that's just way too much. If you haven't vetted me, then you probably haven't vetted yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
I should explain that further. Meaning, if you haven't put me through an application process, that means your standards are probably not very high. And if your standards are not very high for the woman that you're with, you
Mm-hmm.
probably don't have very high standards
For
of
yourself.
yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I am going to run. I am going to run. Let me show
Yeah.
you the beach. Let me show you this.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. I love it. I had to get outside too because it's the better lighting. Um, and I think a nice way if a man is trying to genuinely come off with um a compliment, or you want to come like set yourself aside from the other men, like what can he do to achieve that without being icky?
Yeah. So what a lot of men do is they'll do the love bombing thing, the gifts, the good morning, like the good morning, good afternoon, good evening text, like just like massive amounts of attention, and they think that we like that. But the truth is that is not the kind of attention that we want. That's cheap attention. We get that all the time. A single woman will get that, all the time in her DMs and in her dating profiles and stuff like that. What we want is for you to pay more attention to who we are actually as a person. I tell my clients, guys, when you are courting a woman, you have to look into what are her hobbies, what really makes her happy, what is she passionate about, what are the things that challenge her. Ask her, hey, what was the most challenging part of your day? Or,
Mhm.
what made you smile today? Not the love bombing that's just like, here's affection, here's attention, but it's not
Yeah.
curated and it's not intentional. The
Mhm.
only intention that he has is to get a woman's attention. And that just feels very cheap and unintentional to us, right?
Mhm.
So really look to really get to know us, our character, and vet us as well. Because if
Mhm.
I feel like you're just going to take me, get into a relationship with me no matter what, because I'm a woman showing you some type of attention,
Mhm.
I'm going to run away. I'm going to run away. Because again, that means that you don't have standards. And I am only interested in a man that has very high standards of the woman that he's with. Like, I need to feel like I'm earning you back, not like you're a
Yeah.
simp, like, and you'll
Yeah.
take anything.
And I think especially for women that are beautiful, they will hear, "Oh, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful. Hey, gorgeous."
Another ick. Another ick.
And it's not that that isn't a nice compliment. It's just that women are more wanting a man to appreciate her for who she is on the inside, and a better compliment is, "Oh, I noticed how you treated the waiter. You're so kind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
You seem like a good friend, to your
You're
friends." Like
loyal. Yeah.
you yeah, those are women are so relationship, oriented, that those qualities, virtues, are so much more important to us. And especially the prettier the woman, the more she needs to be seen for her internal qualities, because we also realize that this is a man's world. We're going to get older. We're going to get, you know, um, change. Our bodies will
Mm-hmm.
change if we go
Sure.
through pregnancy or whatever. And, and if we're just being, you know, our value is attached to how we look on the outside,
Sure.
it's heartbreaking to think, like, and this happens very often, it's men can very easily go to the next thing,
Yeah. Sure.
and get younger, get whatever. So there's definitely still, I think, that insecurities around, even when somebody's beautiful, it's not necessarily what she wants to hear.
No. Well, the first thing I think of is a woman didn't work to be beautiful, right? She was born, however she looks, she was born that way, right? So even women that are highly beautiful, gorgeous, whatever, they don't really find that to be such a compliment because they didn't work for it. I want to be complimented on how I've built my character, what I've done, what efforts I've made in life to be a better person, to be a good businesswoman, to be an educated woman, to be a loyal friend, to be kind, to be generous. Complimenting my looks. First of all, a woman who's beautiful, you hear that all the time. There's
Yeah.
there's no value in that. Everybody notices if you're good looking, but the man that notices your virtues and all the character development that you've been through, now that's a compliment. And the truth is that a lot of men don't recognize that personal development, let's call it, because they haven't done it themselves. So if all they can do
Sound is
is
important.
compliment you on external things that are just like super easy to recognize, that tells me that, hey buddy, you probably haven't done the character development, the personal development, the healing in order to recognize those things in me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And what's important and valuable to you, is really telling us a lot about that. It's telling us what we need to know.
You know what?
Feliz Navidad is a little early.
Hold on. There's a girl playing the saxophone right here, right now, and I
I
just want to
know.
give her a
Do
little
you,
money.
do you hear the song though?
Hmm?
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. It's a little
She's
early for that.
it's
We're
like
not there
Feliz
yet.
Navidad.
We're not there yet.
We're definitely not there yet.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? This girl's gonna get a little something. I appreciate it. All
No, and
right.
I got a plane in my background. Not that exciting. Um, yeah. Okay. So fire off another ick of yours.
Yeah. Okay. So another ick of mine is cheap. You already know
Yeah.
I cannot stand a cheapo. I cannot stand a cheapo. And look, here's the thing. A lot of guys will say, "Oh, why do you care about my money?" Listen, I have my own money. I really couldn't care less about your money, but I don't like a stingy man, right? I like
Yeah.
a man who has an abundant mindset, like
Yeah.
he tips well, he takes care of the people, around him. He's not scared to spend money. Like you know I didn't come from a rich background. I came from pretty much like a middle class background.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that my parents were rich, but they were always, both of them, always taught me to be generous and not to
Mm-hmm.
worry so much about money, because when you do good with money, it returns to you many times over. I can't
Yeah.
even tell you how many times in my life that I didn't have and I just went ahead and gave anyway, and somehow
Mm-hmm.
it just returned to me. And we all have
Yeah.
those experiences. And if a man is cheap, to me, that tells me that he hasn't learned this lesson and he doesn't have an abundant mindset. And we're on different, we're just in different areas in life.
Yeah.
Welcome to Miami.
Yeah, it was really embarrassing. I dated. We were talking about like if you've ever dated somebody young, and I dated somebody young, and it wasn't that he was young. He was just raised in kind of, I think, I don't know if it was probably a combination of the area that he was raised in, but his also was, I think, his upbringing. Because my parents always taught me like you tip 20 to 30% to your, so I always have that in my head. I've done service industry related, things, and I understand
Sure.
like how it affects people's income and everything. But his mindset was like, if I'm going out for a meal, I'm signing up for the things that I bought. I didn't ask you to bring it to me. And it was so weird to me. And I was like, I even asked him, I was like, the society recommends to tip in our articles, and I'm like, so what are you going to say to that, But that mentality did not change. And I realized that sometimes I would kick in money to help towards the tip. And I learned later on he pocketed that. And it was so embarrassing. So it's one of those things that it I really hate that. And if men are not going to be generous with others, with their own family, with what they can, they're not going to be generous, and not just things with money. they're going to be not generous in every part of their, of your life with them as well. So that's why that means a lot to us. It's not about the money.
Yeah, and it could be also not just money. He could be stingy with his time. He could be stingy with any other resource that he has, his energy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yep.
it just all plays back to, having an abundance mentality or a scarcity mentality. So yes, ick is cheap. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, I can't take it. Can't take it. That's a really big one for me. Okay. Uh, another ick for me is a man who expects a woman to just clean up after him. I can't. A man has to be able to take care of his own household. Like, there's so many
Mhm.
men that are looking for a woman because he doesn't want to do the housework, the groceries,
Yeah.
so for me, I will tell you, and this is going to be something that maybe a lot of people don't like to hear. Maybe it's going to trigger, but if a man has not lived on his own
Mhm.
before he dates me, red flag. Not,
Yeah.
no, we're not doing that. I am not going to teach you how to take care of a household. And
Yeah.
and I'm certainly not going to be, especially if I'm working, like, you expect me to, do all the cleaning, do the cooking, do the grocery shopping, who knows, rear and take care of children and go to work. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
This is why a lot of men don't understand that for women, the responsibilities like triple on them when
Yeah.
they get into a relationship. So
Yeah.
you have to really come correct as a
Not
man.
like and not like our moms or their moms that just stayed home and ran a household anymore.
Right. It's not that way anymore. It's not that way. I mean, there are a select number of women that are able to, stay at home and their husbands are taking care of everything financially, but that's
Very rare.
becoming
It's very
that's
rare
becoming
now.
rare. I have a few friends, who are in that position, and I'm so super happy for them. But, it's not everyone. It's not
Yeah.
everyone. And so the
See, and
responsibilities are
that's less
just
of an that's a less ick for me, I think, when it comes to because like I've heard of women complain like he will leave, his dirty clothes like right by the hamper or in the bathroom. And to me, that's never been, I don't mind picking up those kind of things. I think it's more of the willingness to help when things need to get done.
mhm,
And I've realized I'm like I think it's just a strange man thing that maybe they do this now so that they allot time differently that they're going to go get to it and do it later. Like my husband is not a slob in the least bit, but
mhm.
I would say he's a man through and through. There's things that he does. And it never bothers me, but it crosses my mind. I'm like, it's right here. It's right here. But I like laugh it off because I'm also like, he has no problem doing majority of the dishes, if not all of the dishes. He
Mhm.
makes all of our meals. I've cooked for him all of 3 times. A lot
Yeah.
of men will look at that and be like, you are a worthless wife,
Right, right, right.
but so I very happily take on any little task that I could do to offset. So I think the bottom line is he messy, and is he also expecting a mom out of the
Right.
relationship?
Right. Right. Exactly. Um, yeah. Okay. So, give me an ick of yours.
Ugh. We covered a good one with the whole generosity thing. I think that was a good
Oh,
one.
princess. What about princess?
Let's circle back. Yeah, so it's been very established that there are some, it's not all, there are some men who want to be treated almost higher or better than a woman. And if there was anybody that was triggered by our last live, that it was just, I was having so much fun in the comments. If somebody was triggered by that, you sir are a princess. I'm very sorry.
Okay,
Um,
let me stop you here for a second because I want to say something before I forget, and it's on this subject. This is aligned with or has something to do on the subject of princess. I find that men these days are doing way too much. What do I mean by that? They're getting into like an area of vanity. So I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. Like men with crop tops, I can't take it. The crop top thing, I just can't do it. Your belly is showing? No, no, sir. That is an ick. Okay, there goes. Crop top is an ick. I do not want to see a man's belly button. Like that, just so feminine and weird to me. Okay. And it signals to me like kind of like a feminine vanity. Okay, bedazzled. Did you see how many men are wearing stuff with like rhinestones and glitter on it these days?
I
Like
think
there's
that's a very Florida thing though too.
oh, I don't know about Florida. I've seen it. I've seen it all over the internet
I
too.
really I've seen a lot more men in Florida actually be very bedazzled than anywhere else.
Really interesting. I don't
I
know.
think it's because maybe that nightlife. It's like to wear something shiny. Like I've seen a lot of like very shiny shirts and glitter with a little too much, you
A
know,
little flair.
Zaza.
Too much
Yeah,
flair.
yeah,
Too much flair.
yep,
Yeah, I mean, I am with you. I do not like that. I think it's super feminine. And I like, look, I don't mind a man that takes care of himself, gets the manicure,
yeah.
every once in a
Please do.
while.
There
Gets,
was
I
the
mean,
metrosexual. It used to be called before
yeah,
when a guy
I
actually
don't
did
love
that.
that. Yeah, I don't love that because I think sometimes it can be too much. Like if he has a 12-step skincare regimen, a bigger skincare regimen than I do, if he cares more about the way he dresses than I do, like there's just to me, there's just a limit in how much he should be,
Mm,
how much time and energy he's giving to that. Because I feel like a lot of guys just like they want to take selfies and post photos
yeah,
of themselves, and it's an ick. It's too much. It's giving feminine, you know.
yeah,
And now this is not all men. I'm just giving you, the icks and how it makes us feel like we look. The thing about the whole feminine thing is that we don't like to feel that you're feminine because we want to be feminine, and then you ruin the polarity. Like
yeah,
you take away that polarity that we have, and then our attraction, goes away too. So
yeah,
if and a lot of women are just like, honestly, a lot of women, if you go on the internet these days, you'll see a lot of women are just jumping ship, and then they're going with girls. They're literally like, oh my god, these men are girls anyway. I'm just gonna go with girls because I feel safer.
yeah.
Honestly, it's a real thing that's happening.
Hmm.
So yes, the icks, like the whole feminine thing, like paying too much attention to,
Hmm.
the get up, the look, the skincare regimen,
Yeah,
facials, nails, like
yeah.
too much.
And not just on the outside, like I think that's been like established. You're putting more emphasis, let's just say, on how you're looking, how your physique is, and that probably above, we'll say, the money than the time that you can be spending on your career, your qualities,
Right.
self-help, all of that.
Sure.
But what are some other, give examples of princess, why we would call a guy a princess aside from the outside?
Well, look, I will tell you, the other day I saw a video of a man saying, oh, ladies, you expect us to buy you flowers. Why don't you buy us flowers?
Mm,
Excuse
yeah.
me? Since when do men want women to buy them flowers? Are
Yeah.
you serious? What? Now,
Mhm.
look, I'm not saying that women shouldn't buy men anything, right? Like, I'm a gift giver. Like, I'm a gift giver. I have no problem spending money, giving gifts. But a man requiring flowers from a woman, that's femme. That's femme.
Mhm.
Like pick something else, my guy. Pick something else. Now, so I saw that, and I was like, okay, now this man is expecting flowers. Like, my dad would never, ever say he wants flowers. He might want
Yeah. Might
tickets to,
appreciate
he might
flowers.
want tickets to a drag meet or something like that, where He could watch Cars, or something like that. It's not that he doesn't, we shouldn't give men gifts, but
Mhm.
that's super femme. It's just super femme, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an ick for me.
Yeah. I think it's I think it's the treatment. I think it's like I want a woman to drive, why can't you drive me around and I'll be passenger princess?
Right.
We have a friend that, joked about that. I'm like, hey, I don't mind at all. There's sometimes, your man's tired and,
Sure.
he wants to be chauffeured around or, and that's another thing too. When they are, even a woman, I think a man should have a certain standard that if he's worried about, I don't want to give too much in a relationship before there's something, sure, when they're your woman, you can take care of her and show her what it would be like to actually be in a committed relationship. And it's the same for men. When it's at that point, then I feel comfortable to be like, okay, like I'll open up my own car door here and there, and I won't mind driving you around. But for the most part, a man should want to fulfill those certain roles as a
Sure.
man, just the same as a woman should want to fulfill those as
Sure.
well. And
Yeah.
there is actual hormones that get released during those times. So when a man is actually saying, I want to be treated the same as a woman, he's not understanding that psychologically and chemically, he's actually getting more estrogen, and that's creating a spike of more stress and unbalance in him that he does not understand mentally. Women the same way. If we get put into a position where we're expected to work at the same level as
Mhm.
men, and I
Mhm.
don't mean work hard, I mean in certain tasks, we get depleted of our estrogen, and our testosterone spikes. We have a
Right.
different stress that is now we're going to be looking to a man for a lot more help. And so that balance is really what is necessary, and why I think it's not appropriate for a man to say, I want to be treated like a woman. It's not saying we want to treat you bad or not kind or not be considerate or not have empathy, but there are those standards that are there.
Sure. And and then a lot of men will complain. Oh, they'll ask for this feminine type of treatment, and then they'll complain that the woman is masculine. Buddy, you can't have both. You can't put us in our masculine and then complain
Mm.
that we're not feminine. A man is supposed to take the lead, so we're following after him. Like, he's supposed to take the lead. So if a woman is feminine, I mean, if a woman is masculine, it's simply because there's no masculine lead, and we have to fill the role. We have no choice,
Mm.
because the masculine is about survival, stability, security, and that comes before everything else. It comes before procreating, it comes before creativity, it comes before playfulness, affection, warmth, right? All those things are secondary to what the man is supposed to be providing: the stability, the structure, the leadership, the provisions. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So if we don't have that masculine lead, that container that they're supposed to keep us safe in, then of course we have to get into our masculine energy, and we have to create that for ourselves. And yes, the consequence of that will be, yes, a masculine over not feminine woman.
Mhm. Yeah. I think an ick for me is when men don't give attention to their whatever it is, someone they're dating or it's a spouse, when attention is freely given like other places and they feel more comfortable to do that than with their own girlfriend or, their own spouse.
You mean
And
avoidant behavior?
um no, not avoidant behavior, but like I'll give like an example. Like I this is just something that in the past, I had, dated guys that were just like, I'm not going to post you. And it showed to
Mm,
me like okay, it is a very superficial thing. I get where you're coming from if that's the real reason that you don't want to do that. But it's also, men see their profiles as a dating platform too.
yes.
and they
Yes.
don't want to be off the market or committed in that way, or they'll go and give love and attention to some other person, whether it's a movie star or, attention or like. And it's like, you can't have both standards. You can't say, oh, it means nothing, but no, you intentionally are putting certain things out there or whatever,
Hmm.
and you're not giving that to somebody who you say is special or whatever. And at the very least, I think that can translate to, you're not willing to take yourself off the market, you know?
Right. And yes, they're, a lot of the times they're just fishing. They're just fishing, kind of like playing around to see, let me see if I have better options available to me, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
Um, which is a terrible way to think of things. If you really have a standard for yourself, kind of like what you want and how to recognize that in a
Yeah.
woman, and you won't play, those, sort of games.
Yeah. And I've
You
heard people say, oh, it's, social media is so fake, and people can post that they're happy or that they're doing this and that, and what's
check it out.
happening
Wait.
closed doors, That's all cool. What's happening behind closed doors can be different. Like, and I get that, but we'll just say, like, if you choose to have a social media, everyone that, especially that is public, that everyone can see, it is telling a story whether you like it to or not. So, do you want to give off the impression that you are single, ladies man?
Right.
What story would you like to tell with that? Nowadays, jobs are looking at your social media.
Sure.
Before I got the job that I have now, they added me on social media, and they're watching whatever content that I put out there. So people are tying, certain things to it. So I think you can't sit there and say it's not that deep, but then at the same time have something that people are going to take very, seriously at the same time. So if you have that, and this goes for a woman too, if there was a, woman that had, all these pictures, a guy can go and, go into their DMs and be like, I don't see you have a man, you know,
Right.
and vice versa. So it's just, it's a choice, but it does say a lot.
Yeah, no, 100%. And this is why I work with men in my program, my high value dating system. I have a group and a one-on-one option. And what I am doing is basically helping men to clear themselves of the old beliefs, the thought patterns, the emotions that are just trapped inside them, trauma. Get rid of all that so that they can really become their highest self. And when you do that, your standards of yourself change. And when your standards of yourself change, your um your ability to attract a woman who has higher standard of herself is going to take place, right? And you're going to be able
Mhm.
to know that you have this value, and this is what it's worth, and this is the kind of woman that you deserve, because of that.
Yeah.
My program helps men to see opportunity where they didn't before, attract people in their lives that they couldn't attract before. Like, I'm talking woman of their dreams type of stuff. I've brought marriages together. I've helped men find the woman of their dreams. And it's a lot of times what these dating coaches are doing, and I'm not that one. I'm definitely not that one, by the way. My nickname is Lady Hitch. Um, what they're doing is teaching men pickup lines and dating scripts and texting scripts, and showing them how to change their social media profiles and their dating profiles so that they look more attractive to a woman and get dates. But the thing is, that'll only help you get to the date. Once you get to the date, if you have repressed anger, if you have insecurities, if you have traumas and dramas, the woman is going to pick it up with her intuition right away. And so what did that texting technique or dating profile help you if once you get on the date, she's like, no, you're giving your vibe is off, and I'm not going to have a second date with you. So I'm a different type of dating coach where I do the deep transformation work. Sad to say, women are twice as likely to get therapy than men because they simply do not want to open up, and they don't find any benefit in therapeutic procedures or whatever. So I'm not a I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, but I am a coach and counselor, and I create that safe space. And I have a step-by-step technique, program, phases that I have worked with so many clients through to get these results. And it's literally instruction step by step in how they can make this transformation that I discussed earlier. So anybody, any man that's watching this video, if you're interested, go to the link in my bio and you can apply to work with me. Jules, you there? The video is out.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just taking care of the dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will say as a personal testimonial, for somebody that is male, my dad, had an opportunity to work with you.
Oh,
What was it,
yeah.
like like 4 years ago? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, something like that.
Um,
2022. Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, 5 years
2021,
ago.
22. Yeah.
That's crazy. 5 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, because it was way before my mom passed away. And you gave him a lot to think about, and this is a man who has done a lot of work on
Mm-hmm.
himself
Yeah.
since like maybe his 50s or so. And so he's, close to 70 now, but you gave him a lot to talk about. And I think your approach with being very direct, men really like
Right.
get it and respect it
Yes. And
a
it's
lot
step by
better.
step. It's like,
Yeah.
do this. Okay, now do this. Now
Yeah.
do this,
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't leave it vague,
Yeah.
and conceptual. I'm like, no, this is the exercise we're gonna do now.
Mm.
This is the question I'm gonna ask you very directly. And
Yeah.
I leave them no wiggle room. It's like, no, we're in this, we're locked in, this is what we're gonna do, and this is the result that we're gonna get.
Yeah. And I think that especially the ones that are looking for that, the right ones that, that apply, that are looking for long-term serious relationships, to either feel like that is a possibility for them. It's not just about getting the dates. They want to keep the woman and they want to keep her happy long term. It's
Gotta keep her.
the end,
Can't just
the
get
end,
her, you
the
gotta
end,
keep her. Right.
the end result is to stay in a thriving relationship, and it's not to do with the other person. A lot of that is you as a person and what you're going to, how you're going to do that, regardless of the external forces that are that are happening. And I think that's what a lot of men and women kind of miss when they go into it. And it's it's been a learning experience for myself too. I have a completely different view and mindset, um, that I
Mm.
did kind of starting out, before I got married. And I did so much work, and I was kind of like, all right, I did this, I'm done, I reached the end goal. And then you realize, like, through time, just how much you have to continue that constant, working on yourself, and getting better, and changing and learning and growing. So it's good that you're doing this program, because so many women and men need it both.
Yes, absolutely. I'm focusing on men now. But yes, women, I do take female clients too. It's just my marketing, my messaging is towards men. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm in it for the long haul. I'm taking clients and we're getting results, and I'm super
Good.
happy with it. And I keep refining the process. It keeps getting better and better. And I can't wait to do my group launch. I'm only taking one-on-one clients at this moment, but I'm doing a group launch soon, and I'm excited
Mhm.
for it. I'm working really hard. I'm putting out the best product that I possibly can for men, and I want to make it very clear that my content, is from a woman's perspective, and sometimes that may come off like, oh, we're bashing men. No, I'm not bashing men. I'm educating y'all from a woman's perspective, because you don't have this. You don't have this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that, okay, yeah, I'm talking about women's icks, and that might come across as, oh, man bashing. No, I'm telling
Mhm.
you so you can understand the way we think, right? To
Mhm.
help you. I mean, I'm just here to help you. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Listen, do you have any last thoughts? Because I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go enjoy this beach.
No, enjoy. Have a good night. Until the next time.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
All
Oh,
right.
guys, one more thing. One more thing. Again, link in my bio. Link in my bio if you want to apply to work with me. And Jules takes, if you're a female and you want to do some subconscious belief release work, hit her up. She's got you.
All right. Love you.